Alrighty, so last week, season 5 of Cobra Kai debuted on Netflix. I watched the entire thing the day it came out. I don't know how, but I don't know. I did it anyway. So I thought maybe not one of the better seasons of the show, but every season of this show has been great so far. So this season, like the previous four, was great. I thought it I think it kind of dragged in the first couple episodes when they were doing the whole Miguel and his dad stuff. I think that set up some good moments for Miguel and Johnny, but the stuff with his dad specifically didn't really do that much for me. I thought it was good for him as a character, but I don't know, it just wasn't the dad himself. I kind of wish they'd made it more clear that he was like an actually dangerous person. They kind of just were like, maybe he's involved in bad stuff. He does bad things. Maybe I'm just a moron who doesn't get any implications at all, which is entirely possible, but I don't know, that's what I took away from it. However, I think the season kind of focusing in on Daniel trying to take out Terry Silver and undo his whole master plan, I think that amounted to some really cool stuff. I can't like raise my eyebrow super high with this thing. It was weird, very uncomfortable. But either way, I think Terry Silver has proven himself to be an excellent villain. Thomas Ian Griffith has not skipped a beat. He's just fantastic in the role, and he's a lot more manipulative than Kreese was. And Kreese was manipulative, sure, but Silver is actually like scheming. He's planning. He has like an actual plan that he's going to execute. And I think the season introduced like a very natural way for honestly the show to end by like season 6 by introducing this Sekai Taikai. I think that's right. Yeah. Um, I think that could be like a proper conclusion to this series, and they've pretty much given adequate development for every single character on the show. Johnny, at this point in the show, has like introduced the conflict of a baby, and he's actually like trying to better himself. And then you see Daniel, who's just, I mean, similarly as he was before, kind of a little bit self-destructive in how focused and buffoonish he sometimes acts, especially when he's just being duped by Silver at every turn and is super suspicious of everything that he does, which he's kind of right to be, but it creates some conflict. I thought it was a bit weird how like they introduced Daniel's family leaving, and then they have a cameo from Jessica Andrews from Karate Kid 3, which was actually very cool, and then they're just back by the end of that episode. That was a bit weird, but I don't know. And I think the show progressed some of the teenage characters nicely. Tori kind of getting on a better path and away from Cobra Kai. I really liked her relationship with Kreese kind of being a little bit fully realized in this season. With all the tensions that it has, there's clearly a bond there. Sam kind of just giving up on karate entirely, as well as Daniel. And it makes it all the more impactful when they kind of decide to get back into it. I think Chosen was a really good addition this season. He made for a lot of just really funny moments. Some of the characters didn't get a ton of stuff to do, like Hawk, Dimitri, Kenny. They're just kind of the same. Anthony as well. They're just kind of the same as well, they're, I don't know if they're this, they had a lot of development before. Kenny had this whole like descent into evil, and I assume they're going to go more into that in the next season, but there wasn't a ton for him to do this season outside of just be a jerk. A character that I'm kind of glad the show doesn't develop is Kyler, because I feel like the show needs just one character who's super one-dimensional, but I really can't stand Kyler at this point. He's such an idiot. Which does make it really funny when he gets punched in the face after saying, "You better not miss," and then he just gets punched in the face. It was hilarious. There's also there's the similar issue of this show where it's like, okay, these kids are just doing terrible stuff. It makes no sense why none of these kids' parents would care what they're doing. Like, and the whole thing with the West Side Story-esque water park conflict in like episode 4 maybe, that was just a bit weird. I don't know. Plus, like, Cobra Kai mentions in here, like, they're a super elite karate dojo, and like they say that they train people really fast. Like they talk about Kenny, how he only started like maybe like a year before, but already he's just completely able to beat anybody up. That's a bit weird. I feel like it'd take a little bit longer than that to learn karate. I know they train a lot, but still, I mean, not that I know anything about karate, of course. But yeah, still, I really enjoyed this season. You got a lot of cool twists and turns, especially as you get into the final couple episodes where it's not like a bunch of huge shocking reveals, but what they're able to do with the information they have on Stingray, how it kind of becomes like kind of superhero esque, where they're trying to take down Silver. And you get some amazing action, and like they go full on like fighting with swords in a pool. That was insane. I honestly thought they were gonna kill off Chosen there for a second, but they didn't. I'm kind of glad that they didn't. The I liked what they did with Kreese. I'm excited to see where that's gonna go by the end of this season. At what they did with him at the end of this season, not where it's gonna go at the end of this season. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, like, I think the way that Silver is kind of incapacitated by the end is satisfying. And another thing to talk about here, I liked how they used Mike Barnes. Like it was a character that I figured wasn't going to be a villain when they brought him back. And well, initially I did at the end of season 4 when he was like, maybe I'll bring in some old friends, and I was like, oh, he's talking about Mike Barnes. Mike Barnes, just the karate's bad boy, this evil person. And I think they did a good job with him, with just like making him pretty much a totally different person, just turning him around completely, having him own a furniture store instead of being a jerk who beats the crap out of Daniel, this karate assassin who doesn't really kill people, but he did try to, so there is that. And then his reappearance in the last couple of episodes, that was really cool. He got in on some action, and there's something that's just awesome about seeing all three of Daniel's rivals from the original trilogy uh, going to Terry Silver's house to take him down, and all teaming up to fight a bunch of evil senseis. That was awesome. Like, when they introduced Mike Barnes into this season, I was like, well, I mean, what's he gonna do? Like, he owns a furniture store. What's he gonna do? Like, there's no way they're gonna team up Johnny and him and Chosen. Like, they teamed up Johnny and Chosen a couple times, but I was like, no way they're gonna bring Mike into there. And then they did, and it was awesome. So yeah, it was a really satisfying season for me, and I am interested, as always with this show, I'm interested to see where it's going. And I don't know if season 6 is going to make a conclusion. That's my prediction. But if it is, I hope it concludes in a satisfying way. So that's my thoughts on Cobra Kai season 5. Share yours down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Keep calm and watch out.